It's time to update the power rankings after week 1 of the Major 2 qualifiers. As always, what you see on screen is what I had from last rankings after Major 1. Kind of get a picture for what we're starting with. So let's switch on over to our new rankings as of February 20th, which is when I'm recording and uploading this. Some little headlines here. New rosters went 2-4 this past weekend. So 2-4 record for teams that made roster changes. Not exactly great. Honestly, the big thing for me is I think the top 4, top 5 are really pulling away. And I also do want to know, who is your dark horse? Put it down in the comments. But this week was definitely pretty interesting. I mean, starting it out at number 12, it is LA Thieves. They're not moving. They are definitely the worst team in the league. There isn't much that really needs to be said. They played one match. Of course, it was against OPTIC, a top team, but they did lose 3-0. Then coming in just above them, down 2 spots, I do have the Royal Ravens. Now, I do want to say this. Honestly, I think 6 through 11, you could literally do however you want. It's so hard to figure this out because so many of these teams like lost this weekend. So it's really difficult to say who should be where. Honestly, these teams like 6 through 12 look nowhere near close to the top 5, in my opinion. Then coming in at number 10, I do have the Seattle Surge down 2 spots. They just looked abysmal versus the Subliners it was when they played this weekend. Honestly, it was just so bad. One of the worst control games I think we've ever seen. Then at number 9, I have the Miami Heretics, also down 2 spots. A lot of these teams going down 2 spots. Miami went 0-2 this weekend. Obviously, they played Ultra and FaZe, which are tough opponents, but either way, they only won 1 map out of those 2 series, so not ideal for Miami. And definitely interesting to see a team that was top 5 at one point in the season now coming down towards this bottom 3, bottom 4 section. So hopefully they can pick it back up. Then at number 8, I do have the Las Vegas Legion up 3 spots. Like I said, you could really switch these however you want. Legion were able to win their match this weekend, so that's kind of why I bumped them up, because they were in 11 last week. So I do have them jumping up, but also the Legion jumping up 3 spots is kind of weird to me because obviously we still haven't really seen that much of them. It's hard to say they're really a top 8 team after 1 match, but like I said, you could move these around however you want. And speaking of the team they beat, right above them, I have the Gorillas down 1 spot. I didn't think Gorillas should fall more than 1 spot. Like, they only played 1 match, and yes, they lost, and it was to Legion, who have under them. But Gorillas were pretty good at the major, so I still want to give them benefit of the doubt based on how they were in previous weeks. Then our biggest movers of the week is going to be the Boston Breach, up 4 spots to number 6. This is what I mean when I say, like, seriously, I don't know how to rank these guys because Boston goes out top 12 at the major, but then they come out and they win, but they only beat Ravens. But like everybody else in this section except for Legion lost their matches this weekend. So it's like, how do you really rank these? Because everybody lost. So should Boston be below all these teams? Because obviously they won, so you would think they should be moving up. It's super, super hard. So this week is definitely one that I feel like is going to be probably seeing a lot of change next week. But then we get into our top 5, and I'm just going to put them all on the screen because nothing is changing in my opinion. I still think Ultra are definitely number 1 team. I still think FaZe are number 2, OPTIC are number 3, Rocker 4, and Subliners 5. I really don't think this changed at all. Minnesota Rocker were able to take Ultra to their first Game 5 of the year, which is really good. Really good. Shout out to them for that. Obviously ended up losing anyway, but overall, I mean, the top 5, I really should have put down here in the bottom corner, the top 5 are pulling away because it really is these 5. Although New York are still a little shaky in my opinion. They looked good against Surge, but they barely beat the Ravens, which was pretty crazy. I mean, they did reverse sweep them, which is really great, but it was really, really close. They were kind of getting rocked in those first 2 maps. So it's one of those things where it's like the league is so top heavy right now. It's just kind of unfortunate. I think, honestly, the gap between 5 and 6 is pretty large. The gap between 11 and 12 is also really large, unfortunately, for my Thieves. But 6 through 11, seriously, could see so much fluctuation over the next couple weeks. I think this is really interesting. This is kind of what I'm going with right now. I mean, let me know what you think. Like I said, tell me who your dark horse is for Major 2. Right now, I think my dark horse is going to be the Legion. I feel like the Legion are a team that people are going to continue to underestimate because they really just don't want to see Purge on this team because of how bad his numbers were in Major 1. I also think the Thieves could be a dark horse, but their Major 2 qualifying schedule is the hardest schedule, so it's going to be hard for them to even make winners bracket, so I can't imagine them making much of a run at the Major, but who really knows? Let me know who your dark horse is in the comments, and let me know what you think about these rankings. And with all that being said, hopefully I'll see you all in the next video.